Ghosts, in my experience, are utterly unlike how people think they are. The first thing that needs to be dispelled is this. Ghosts are not the souls of the dead. They very much aren't. And that like of thinking is dreadfully dangerous. I shall say it again. Ghosts are not the souls of the dead. And I do not say that in a way wherein I deny the existence of souls of the dead, or an afterlife of some sort. That I can neither confirm nor deny. Ghosts are not the souls of the dead. They only pretend they are. You must know that. You must understand it with every fiber of your being, if you ever wish to survive somewhere haunted. The Ouija board, as far as I'm concerned, is the most dreadful invention of the modern era because it works too well. Imagine the way a pedophile works through the internet. They may find their target, message them through text only. Any pictures they send of themselves will be lies. And every sweet nothing they send, every positive comment or compliment, is on the inside something truly disgusting. They may say things that if you were to learn who they really were, would be enough to make you vomit. Now imagine that something very similar could be living in your walls. Something that has watched you for a very long time. Something that knows what you like, dislike, love, and hate. Something that wears the face of your dead loved ones like a horrid sock puppet. And everything they tell you through the magic board, as you rejoice for your lover, your mother, alive again, is said with a hidden, insatiable grin. That is a ghost. And the only reason we fear them is because some of them aren't good at all. It is the errors in the ways by which we see them. But spotting an error is perhaps the most frightening thing of all, because it shows you precisely how very near they came to getting you. Once, when I was a child, my grandmother had died, and we stayed in the house with my grandfather for a week, keeping him company through it all. There was a portrait in the living room, which I knew to despise. An old black and white photograph of a relation, a great aunt who I never knew. The photograph never unnerved me in and of itself, but there was a simple feeling I got off it that was well and truly frightening, such as I refused to be left alone with it. Over the course of the week, I noticed something that, while everyone else noticed, no one else really comprehended. The black and white photo began to look a little bit like my grandmother, and then it got a little bit more similar. Each night as we sat, I looked up at it and noticed that it seemed to resemble her more and more. No one said anything, but grandfather sat close to it and used to take long looks at it each night until he began falling asleep in front of the thing. I would have never managed that. Near the final day of the second week, the only people in the room were me and my grandfather and the portrait. I took passing dreaded glances at it to see that it had seemed to change once again, just barely perceptibly. Her eyes were looking mid-distance, the hint of a faint smile on her grayed lips. Grandfather kept his eyes on it and looked down, and grandfather let out a yelp. As I looked up, her eyes were peering at us, and she was grinning. God help me, she was grinning. And the very worst of it was that it wasn't an evil grin. It was the brightest, happiest, most generous and warm grin. Grandfather stood up and turned his head away as he toppled the portrait from the mantel, and I heard the glass shatter. We took everyone from the house. Nothing much happened after that. We took grandfather to stay with us, and the picture was done away with. Whether the eyes of the ghost followed us, I don't know. The thing that haunts me most, as I said, is that it is in their mistakes we see them laid bare. What would have become of us if the ghost hadn't been stupid enough to do that?